Can I ask what impact medication has in terms of both freezing and switching off and keeping you switched on? How does medication work for you?
For me, it works in real cycles, very obvious cycles. At the moment, I'm due for medication in about 20 minutes. And I can feel that even though at the moment I'm on, I could very easily slip off if that medication wasn't taken bang on time. The medication for me has to be taken exactly when it's scheduled to be taken. Not 10 minutes after or 10 minutes before. It has to be taken exactly on the time. And I take medication every 3 hours. And as long as I stick to that routine, I'm generally fine and can function all day long because of that. I have had problems, particularly when I've been hospitalised, when I'm dependent on being given medication by somebody else, i.e. the nursing staff. If that's delayed for any reason, I can go off big time, and it's very difficult once I'm really off to rectify it.
So you have to stick to your 3-hour cycle. Is that all through the day?
At night, before bedtime, I take controlled release tablets that help me sleep. And I have a good night's sleep of about 6 hours a night, taking the controlled release. And then I start the 3-hour regime again.
What time do you take your last dose at night?
Usually at 10.
10 o'clock.
10, yeah.
And then that gives you 6 hours of quality sleep.
Yeah.
And then you're up in the wee small hours, which you were this morning.
Yeah, that's right. But I find if I take the medication on time, I'm generally can manage how I am all day. And it works well for me. I also have a stimulator, a deep brain stimulator, that has helped very much with the control of the tremor and the shaking.
Can you explain a little bit about how that works?
Yes, there's a box that I have in my chest here that's connected up to my brain through cables here. And there's a probe that goes into the brain, and an electric current is sent up through the stimulator, and it sends messages out, going really off. Now it sends messages through to the cells.
So it's a combination of your deep brain stimulation system and the medication that you take 3 hourly during the course of the active day keeps you switched on. But because we're leading up to your next medication dose, you're starting to switch off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've become quite good at trying to hide that. If I'm not actually going to concentrate, I can put my hand.
Sit on your hand.
Sit on my hand, yeah. But I can't concentrate, as you can probably tell now.
Do you want to stop?
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Rosie, you just had an episode of switching off, and we've taken a bit of time out to get back on track. How are you feeling just now?
I feel good now. I feel a lot better. I'm shaking still a lot, but that should wear off any minute now. So I'll sit on my hand.
Okay, no, that's fine. And you've had an opportunity to take your medication, which is timed every 3 hours.
Yes, and it was on time, so I'm on schedule for stopping shaking any minute now, I would think.
Good. Okay, we'll get that on camera as well. Okay. Can I ask a question about whether you use any services at all as a result of your diagnosis of Parkinson's disease?
Yes, I have used a lot of the services over the years. The most consistent one is the Parkinson's nurse, who is excellent and has given me tremendous support and advice over the years. My consultant, who has also done the same, they work very much as a team and have referred me to the neurosurgeons for the operations that I've had. But also locally, I've used physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, social workers, and the direct payment scheme locally just recently. All of them have been extremely helpful, and I know that I'm lucky to have had access to them, because apparently these services aren't available across the country to everybody who has Parkinson's.
Not always.
And I have used them as and when I've needed them. And everybody has been very, very helpful. And I tend to sort of dip into these services when I need them. And it's up to me to self-refer to a lot of them.
So it's an open referral policy, and you're able to just pick up the phone when you need a service?
Yes.
And to have access to that?
Most of the time, with them, particularly the health services, the direct payment scheme has just been using for about a year or so. And it's been great because I've been able to buy in exactly the type of care I need it when I need it, and the rest of the time I can get on with my independent life.
Super. So how does that work? Are you allocated a budget each month, or is there a pot of money?
Yes, well, for me, I don't know about the scheme generally, but for me they put an amount into an account each month for me to use to buy in the care I need when I want it or when I need it. And I've set those arrangements up myself and picked the people who I want to come rather than having somebody who maybe you don't get on with, or you don't like the way that they work, or just somebody you prefer to have in your home.
And presumably that's somebody that you can give information to about your condition, about medication, getting medication on time, that sort of thing.
It. And they get to know you so well.
Right.
The girl that comes to help me most of the time knows exactly what I need. She can read from my face what I need. And she's extremely helpful. I've got to know her and trust her and enjoy her coming. But there's a lot of the time when I just don't need any help at all, and I can manage fine on my own.
So is that flexibility the main benefit, do you think, of direct payments?
The flexibility and knowing who's coming, and that you've said the time, instead of being offered a nurse or a carer every morning at 8 o'clock, when half the time I would either be up and out or snoozing away nicely when they called, and it wouldn't be convenient.
So on a practical level, can you ring them up at fairly short notice and ask them to come?
I've found an agency that provides 24-hour care. I've only had to ring them once out of office hours since I've been on the scheme, and they've come straight out and were there within 10 minutes.
Great.
So it's been marvellous for me. It's kept me out of hospital on many occasions, just being able to ring and buy in the care.
That's good.
And that's better for everybody, because I'm not blocking a neurological bed then. And
you mentioned the support you'd had from the Parkinson's nurse specialist.
Yeah.
Can I ask how often you see your nurse specialist in this area?
Formally, probably once every 6 months. I see her with my consultant, but I have access to her in between that, and often there'll be no contact. But then there's periods of time where I have a lot of contact, and you know, she's great. She responds, she rings back immediately, and she points me in the right direction. And I'm really beginning to shake now, aren't I?
Right. It's okay, don't worry.
I'm not going off here.
No, it's just a nice little additional.
It's just a little shake.
Yes, that's fine. What about informally? I know you mentioned that you like to keep active, that you like to ride your bike when you can, and to ride horses where that's possible, and that you do that regularly. Are there any other things that you do to keep active and keep stimulated?
I see a lot of my friends a lot of the time. I just lead a normal life.
Yeah.
I ring people up, I arrange things for the weekends, I go everywhere that I want to go. I'm very lucky, I have a very good standard of living, and I have a lot of support. But a lot of that's from friends as well as family. And I try not to ask people to do things regularly, because I feel that becomes a bit of a burden then. For the things that I need like that, I try to ask my carer through the direct payment scheme.
Sure.
But I have a lot of support and a lot of fun, and I do go out and do everything I would do if I didn't have Parkinson's. The only thing is that sometimes I just have to plan how I'm going to do it with a bit more detail. And I do ask for help when I need it. But most of the time everybody's very helpful and cooperative. People like British Rail and so on will help you get off a train and meet you at your destination if you let them know in advance and things like that.
So it is about planning in advance,
yeah.
Really.
And accepting help if you need it.
Yes.
I was quite bad at doing that at the beginning. I thought, no, I'll be independent, but if I need help now, I ask and make things easier for myself.
Sure. Yeah. Makes sense, doesn't it? Okay.